Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Outback by Night. This is a Red Center by Night recap episodes. This time, we are tackling episode 4. My name is Rina, and I am the storyteller for this chronicle.
Hi, I'm Adam. I'm playing Charlie, our Camarilla Banu Hakim.
Hi, I'm Hollow. I play Argent Addison, our Camarilla Gangrel.
Hi, I'm Joel. I play Trist, the only real member of the Inquisition that's not a traitor trying to bring it down through ineptitude.
Jesus Christ. I'm Melissa, and I'm playing Alice Barr with the Bahari.
I'm Sophie, and I'm playing Dasha Von Lang, Khmer Region and Bahari bitch.
Just all-round bitch, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, let's start with the Camarilla. What happened with episode 4?
You all abandoned me.
Trauma!
Everything was going so well, and then it wasn't. You recap, Adam.
Oh, God. I think I mentioned in the last recap that we were talking about hecticness of it, or like the wholesomeness, relatively speaking, of that episode. And I was like, it's the calm before the storm. Storm has come. We continued a little bit of the kind of conversations we were having at the end of last episode. Everyone's having these one-on-one chats. And
Bonding.
attempting to, right? And 8 arrived on the scene
And ruined it.
to help. And by help, I mean
Throw everything
viciously
into chaos.
gaslight Jen and pretend like nothing is wrong. Meanwhile, the Inquisition succumb and everything went to shit at the airport.
Hey, you guys are so mean to 8. First of all, she's not the one who decided that all of you have to go on this.
I'm sorry. Everybody abandoned Jen, and then 8 came in and was like, I'm going to play a gaslight gatekeeper girl boss.
8 gets no pass this episode.
8 gets no fucking sympathy.
Yeah.
If Jen ever sees her again, they are going to commit war crimes.
The
Come on,
veneer is broken.
red. She's wearing red. That's like a big walking red flag, right?
Yeah, true.
She made a dress out of all of her red flags.
Yeah, our friggin' magical Carmen Sandiego. She like the fact she's always been sus. Like from the moment she like first appears on the scene, she just walks around all these extremely lethal creatures with apparently no fear at all. Like weirdly doesn't register on the auspexometers as anything.
Has no beast either.
Right. All of our little tricks just yield nothing.
Yeah.
Trying to suss her deal. So yeah, no. And in fact, if anything, Maxie was like their usual charming, affable self, like just all flattery and like.
Yeah, and then Maxie left with 9.
Yeah, that was.
And then they just pissed off.
Oh my God, I remember I watch our faces during these episodes, and when you said you see 9 in the van and pulls, I was just like open mouth, like no.
I was watching it and I saw my face and I was like, oh dear, like just my entire face drops.
Oh my God, and Charlie's old mate turned up as well, so that's
How
fine.
was that for Charlie?
Yeah.
How did
Oh,
that make you feel?
Just Christmas early, isn't it?
You're welcome.
Just all the sins of our pasts come revisited
we love
upon us.
Doodlebug.
Yeah, oh bug.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys
Doodlebug.
love Doodle. Of course.
We love Doodlebug.
I'm very excited to have a further conversation about that after next episode.
Yeah.
That ended up having a lot more like, I don't know, subtext significance than I expected it to. Even we'll get to that, I guess. More importantly, it was a friggin' priest and a bunch of friggin' people with guns. And
They kidnapped Delilah.
Yes, and a tortured doodlebug came bursting through the windshield saying, "Farewell, 7 Dot Haven," or whatever that used to be. you're now useless.
Oh man. To be fair, as like the storyteller, my blurb at that time, at least my mind at that time was like, how do I get rid of all this security? Oh, you know what? Since the security like already knows or is aware of her, I'll just give them the night off. Which gives like everyone else like a chance to do their thing, and everyone else except
Busting some rhymes in the background.
except everyone else except for Maxi. Wait, actually no, all of you planned everything in advance. I did nothing else except facilitate it.
Oh, well, best laid plans. Charlie and Delilah going down the hallway like, we're going to have a chat with Nora. Is it an interrogation or a chat? Yes. Okay, well, maybe
that depends
you
on her
handle
level
this.
of cooperation.
Yeah. And like we had all this, it's that classic thing of like, we plan. Nope. None of that.
We plan, we
denied.
fail.
Yeah.
Basically.
The hardest part of this is trying to line up everything to happen all at the same time.
So yeah, Nora AWOL and
Night out.
Inquisition present without our consent and very much with prejudice.
Bastards.
I have a
Just rocking
question
up unannounced.
about that actually. In the fight, you had a massacre and there was like you could choose to lose an advantage. What does it actually mean to lose an advantage, Rena?
Okay, so if you lose an advantage, you lose that advantage dot.
Okay. So you like the advantages and flaws part of your sheet. You just choose a dot to lose permanently.
Choose a dot to lose permanently.
Oh, brutal.
That's why I was. Oh, that's gonna be in the future episodes. But there was a really, really controversial, like, decision that I was quite surprised about that I want to ask in the future.
Exciting. Thank
regarding the messy crits.
Yeah, we know we love a messy crit in the Camarilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have gotten a fair few of them.
I'd be curious.
And a couple of
the
bestial
stats.
fails.
I've had to make that choice a few times.
Yeah, you have.
I was like, I could take another stain or find out whatever the heck this is. Okay.
You get a stain, and you get a stain. Everybody gets a stain.
Not going to choose to lose the doodle bug and know that for sure.
That doodle bug, I don't care how.
Take my resources.
Who needs resources?
Gonna catch
Resources.
this knife.
I've got a nemesis.
Yeah. Oh no, my wallet was attached to that knife.
Would have been a
Oh.
fun metagame to be like, can the oh no, adversary's a flaw. I was gonna say take that. That's not an advantage at all. I just think of it as an advantage as a role
We
player.
become friends immediately.
Honestly, I was super surprised about like how the Charlie and Doodlebug thing happened because of how close the dice rolls were.
Can we talk about the numbers? Because my paranoid brain was like, how? How is it that we have 2 or 3 contests in a row? They are all decided by a margin of 9 to 8. And I alternated. I won one at 9 to 8,
Yeah.
lost one at 9 to 8. I was like, why are these numbers haunting us, Rena?
Foreshadowing, indeed.
I wonder indeed. And the moment Adam decided that I want to have an adversary, let's say like 3 dots, I'm like, I will make this guy almost similar as Charlie, but with slight differences, and see how it will go if you just make them fight head on.
Look, I built Charlie for those, but one thing I've noticed, and something that maybe should have been obvious, is that like when you build a glass cannon like Banu Hakim type, like their best advantage is to be the first strike. Like they're built to be the first one who moves. So like be obfuscated, get surprise, roll 12 dice against a difficulty of 1. Like that's, power gamey version of that. But like we never get the drop on anybody. That is not what we're capable of.
I feel like every time we think we're at an advantage and we're like 1 step ahead of the game, we find out everyone else is actually 12 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, no, 3 steps behind. That's
Well,
it.
to be fair, you're not actually really going through the world in the game quietly. You
Well,
show
we
up
intended-
in a freaking plane,
Yep.
go to the casino. Like, you might as well just
I'm
have
sorry,
freaking
I needed to
crumpets.
eat.
How dare you?
You left the baby.
That was a mistake. I should not have done that. I should not have done that.
And Delilah just went and go like, I'm gonna ignore all the red flags.
I want a
Yeah,
mojito.
Delilah just
Yeah.
instantly forgot all of her fucking stranger danger training as a like. I'm sorry, I know that you've had some memory loss, but stranger danger is just ingrained as like in people. Especially, I feel like it's a natural instinct for people who are raised female. Like stranger danger.
It's also that thing with psychologists, though. You know, like they're curious. They want to know
Yeah.
everyone's damage.
They make the
Doesn't mean
sacrifice
they need to be
find out
part
more.
of the next murder.
Well, practice as research. You know.
But I do love that you all felt responsible for that and, you know, sad about it and
Jen
played that out.
Jen
Yeah.
still feels bad about it. Like
Yeah.
anytime
Episode
anything happens to
emotional.
Delilah, Jen's like, "Oh shit, what have I done?"
I feel like the first 2/3 of this season is us apologizing for not taking good enough care of Delilah. In some form
To be
or
fair,
fashion.
Yeah,
none of
next
us have
minute.
ever sired a child. None of us are prepared to be parents.
All
we
three
had
of
we had a
you
baby
said-
thrust upon us.
Well, that didn't stop Delilah's sire, did it?
The three dads and one baby.
It's the three dads and their child.
3 kindred and a baby.
Yeah, it takes a village. I'm just thinking about the SI episode where that was a complete flip. But yeah, we get there.
Yeah, I feel real. Listen to this, and everyone's like, "We're really sorry we didn't look after the baby well enough." It's like cue to the SI episode, just carting a kid around, cramming it into cupboards. Like, shut up, stop making noise.
Eat your McDonald's and be quiet.
Here's your nuggies and shut
We
up.
are the bad people.
I'm like,
Are we the baddies?
It was really sad watching this episode, especially because the point of view that we had, especially regarding Maxie leaving, where we were all just like, "This is hilarious! Like, what a loser! Who's this person coming to be?" And then seeing it being so like dramatic and emotional for the Camarilla group, Maxie getting up and leaving. It's like, oh, this was really serious for them.
to
Not
be
for us.
fair, that was not planned. Like Kai just suddenly went and left, and I'm like, I might as well make
Yeah.
everyone leave.
Yeah.
Like honestly, yeah, like Kai started the cascade and it was so dramatic and I felt like sitting there by myself, I was like, why has everybody left me? Oh god. And then I saw Rita's face and she looked ready to like eat me and I was like, oh dear.
Why
You might
stop
say
the
she
small amount of
ate
pain?
you.
She did eat me.
Maximum
No.
pain all the time.
You looked so like the TikTok that you posted of of that little scene.
Hmm.
You looked villainous, like
Oh, it's
pure villainy on your
glorious.
face. You looked like you were having so much fun.
I didn't even notice that until I was like reviewing the footage, and I'm like, why am I so happy here? I'm just
You look
trying
at
to
Because
be
you're a
Venus,
storyteller.
Storyteller. It has
No-
Nemesis and all of our names listed underneath.
But be like as a storyteller, like and then like speaking from experience, like it's really fun when you hit those really dark moments with your players. Your players are at their lowest and they're like, oh god, what have I done? It's so much fun. You're like, I'm gonna fuck you up even more.
How was it
Oh,
being
you
on the
think
other
this
side?
is Mm.
Oh, don't worry. I got plans for everyone, and some of them already experienced it, but cannot talk about it until later on.
I hate that rule. Everything should happen now.
I
haven't
mean,
been-
Release all the episodes now so that I
Yeah.
can talk about it.
I personally feel like when you said that message of we are not going to discuss the Bahari episode with Trist specifically, I'm like, oh, so now it's my turn to be targeted for emotional pain specifically. I see how it is.
I cannot, because to be fair, Joel, you are a walking tome of like World of Darkness lore, and the moment we give you one tiny name, or you'll figure out what's in the salt mine.
Depends. I nearly died when you mentioned a certain word in the Bahari game. So, who knows? Maybe this one will just finish me off.
No, Joel sent a message that got me laughing for like 15 minutes straight. Like, I'm pretty sure that I will be dyeing my hair white, my beard white, not because I will be cosplaying as Santa this next recording, but because I am scared as shit.
Yeah. I feel like based on what the current scenario with the SA is, which I won't get into yet, but when Triss next appears on camera, I'm pretty sure Triss is, well, I don't have any hair anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but Triss would have no hair and a completely white beard, and I have no doubt that Seven will crack some joke about him being Santa.
Well, if she
Emotional
wasn't, she will
damage.
now.
Do you even know what Santa is?
So I'm not even, I don't know what anything is in this game anymore. I don't know. Chicken nuggets are the source of magical powers. The more authority you have, the stupider you are.
Oh, that's universal.
Confirmed.
That's realism.
Yeah,
That's just life.
That's life, man.
The phrase for me, which I'm now adapting because it's the only time I've been successful, is Triss is now going to overtly perform covert actions. And it's the only way that he seems to get away with everything. Because anytime he tries to be stealthy, everyone's like, nope, peel back the covers. What's going on? What's going on? But the second it's like, I am very blatantly doing something, people are just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Worst secret
So
agent ever.
it's so liminal. It's subliminal.
Yeah, I can't talk about
Superliminal.
it because it's for a future episode, but I very, very, very blatantly did something. And everyone was like, we're fine with that. I was like, how are you
Amazing.
fine with this?
Peak.
But
That's life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's life.
But Hollow, what do you feel like when you were just alone on the table, though?
I was, to be honest, I was actually like, at first I was very confused. I was like, what's going on? Because I get very sort of caught up in my character's head. So like Jen was confused, like, where is everybody? What's like, everyone left the tables and I was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like nervous and confused. And then of course, Jen's walking around the airplane going, where is everybody? And I was just getting more and more confused and
still
like
sad.
anxious. Like I was really worried, especially like when Jen was like sniffing around and couldn't smell anything and was already like emotionally distraught after having their chat with 8 as well. Like I was not doing great.
And that was
matches
just the
with an
first.
actual cat.
Yeah.
What?
Like cats just walk around like this is chill, and then as they go to more rooms and realize there's no one, they're like, wait, no, I need food. I
Yeah,
need someone
I'm going to
give me
die
attention."
here.
Yeah. Not okay.
So that explains why my cat will come downstairs the second I get home and glue herself to me. Like,
Oh.
like when I get home from work, she's such a baby.
Oh.
But yeah, like I was confused because I wasn't sure what everyone's kind of like character plans were. So it was very like off the cuff for me. And then Jen getting like gaslit to shit by 8 and just having a bit of a breakdown. Yeah, like I like at the time I was really upset, but like because I was in my character's head. And now I think about it, I'm like, God, this is so fucking good. Like I love this shit. Like I love watching my characters get emotionally destroyed. It's my favorite.
Oh, man, I feel so. I always feel so bad whenever I have to make you guys go through the whole emotional roller coaster. But it's so fun
Nah.
afterwards when I have to edit the videos and everyone's so dramatic.
Yeah.
She's not sorry.
Yeah, I don't
Not
believe
sorry.
that. When you said
Yes,
I
sorry,
feel
not
so
sorry.
bad, I don't believe you.
No,
Yeah,
but I do
live for the
feel-
drama.
I do feel bad, like for what do you call it? I do feel really bad, especially when everyone's crying on the table. Like I cannot comfort you because I am playing the evil bad guy who's making you cry.
It's fine.
Wish I could comfort you, but I
And
can't.
everyone's just like, bring it on, bring me some more. And I'm just like,
Exactly. We'll be breaking down and going, give it to me. I want all of the pain.
Seriously,
is.
though.
There you go.
I was just gonna say, sit in on a Camarilla brainstorm session ever, and it's basically like a race to the front with soft underbellies exposed. Well, here's how you can hurt
Accurate.
Charlie. Oh no, wait, no, Delilah's got this going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a page that is just a series of how would you hurt Alice? And it is literally a how-to guide for Rena. And
I love that.
if anyone sees it, I'm in trouble.
No, I have a tradition at this stage of like roleplay and LARP characters that end up with me actually physically crying. Like, it's just a tradition at this point. Like, if Hollow doesn't cry at the table or in the middle of the LARP, has Hollow even really played the game?
I knew that the SI would break down into infighting because having played with those two in many other games before, it's what we do every time, always. We will continue to do every time, always. We will be determined to take each other on. And I mean, there's love there, but there's also violence.
It's like siblings.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, what do you think about the ending of the episode 4 of the Camarilla, the outro?
See, that was the poem I thought I was going to get when everyone referenced another ending. That's what I thought I was going to get.
So my little high school Latin brain perked up at the very end. I can tell you that much. Who's running that little show? Who was that for? It was not the L name I was expecting to be Ahi Hyde.
Yes. Suffice to say, I have theories.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't because that was recorded in between Bahari sessions during the little lunch break. I just went like, "Hey, Izzy, do you want to do something really fun?"
Oh my god, Rena is 9.
The second any ST says, "Do you want to do something fun?" the answer is yes, but also I know this is going to hurt.
No. The correct answer is yes. Let me just call someone so they know where I am. That is the correct answer because safety first. Although we are talking about Izzy, so maybe safety is not first.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the one who decided to just wander straight into the arms of a strange man.
But yeah, it's like that if you read the Bahari book, you will actually find. And if you read into the context and metagame, but I know most of you won't metagame. I know Joel already knows this because he's like a walking tome.
I'm gonna say Joel's metagaming. Like, I absolutely am not.
It fucking squeeze me.
No, but it's in the Bahari book, and it's a very dramatic ending.
Yeah, the bit that it's from is pretty good, but yes, absolutely not what was supposed to be Ahi Hyde.
Yeah, well, we've established we love a fallen angel in the Camarilla, so bring them on.
Stupid fallen angels.
I am not gonna. I mean, it's totally not gonna be important in the future or anything else.
No,
yeah,
of course
all
not.
those
Nothing,
little recordings totally extraneous. Like,
yeah.
I'm
Nothing
glad
the
that's
storyteller puts in place ever has layers of meaning.
It's good that that's the part that you took out of the Bahari book, not all the other adventures that happened in that. Because there's a lot in that book that's just like, this is insane.
Oh, there are.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike every other
Aquaman.
source book.
Yeah.
Lilith went full Aquaman in that book.
Oh yeah.
Lilith went full. Like, Lilith looked at like all the animals and creatures of the earth and went, "No, screw that. I'm gonna have my own with blackjack and hookers."
Yeah.
Nice.
I love
She's got solid
like,
plans.
when she and Eve knew each other under the tree.
Oh yeah. They knew each other very, very well.
That's knowledge of good.
That's the weirdest case of revenge. It's just like you see your ex moving on, you're like, well, screw you. I'm gonna go hang out with the fish.
Well, it's, yeah. God.
Fuck.
I thought you were cool. Well, look, I have octopi.
Stop. But yeah, let's wrap up the Camarilla recap episode. Is there anything else you'd like to ask before we move on to the Second Inquisition?
I just wanted to again apologize for the Camarilla. It was obviously a very strong, heart-wrenching moment when everyone was leaving, and on behalf of out of character the Inquisition, we're sorry. On behalf of in character in the Inquisition, that's hilarious that you care so much. Out of character, I thought it was
Inquisition. Haha, fuck you.
Yeah, but out of character was phenomenal to watch, especially everyone's reactions. I thought everyone did so well.
Thanks.
I think that was like half. I think that was mostly like genuine reactions at that point. Everyone was just like,
wait.
"What is happening?"
I was, yeah. I had no idea what was going on. I was just like, most of this is just me bumbling my way through the episodes. Like, huh?
We were in such suspense too, because Rena, when you were like, you're tackled outside of the windshield, and I'm like, okay, well, what happens after that is I'm on the ground next to the plane. But then later, when Jen is like looking around, Rena's like, "You don't smell anything or see anything around the plane." I'm like, "Bah."
Yeah, they're all like,
real?
"Where are we?" Jen's like, "I can't smell blood. I can't smell anything. I'm sticking my head into like gas canisters. Can't smell petrol. Like, the fuck is going on?"
It created that thing as well of like, in a way that is not actually traumatizing to me as a human. It was like the feeling of being gaslit the way Jen was getting gaslit. Like, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, we have established that sometimes you can't trust your senses in this story. And I forgot that. And now I've been re-reminded in a really satisfying way. And so I'm taking like rug out from under me. Where is Charlie? And then, yeah, I didn't know.
Everyone was not gonna lie while this was happening, like the 8 and Jen thing. Everybody else was like cursing me at the sidelines.
Yeah, they're all sitting on the side watching this, like, "We're gonna get you. How dare you hurt Jen?"
I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on here. Pretend this side does not exist.
Ignore the daggers coming at you from the other.
But yeah, let's move on to the Second Inquisition episode 4, where Joel is gonna explain what happened.
It was a good time. I continued to bankroll the Inquisition, despite it probably being constantly described as being a homeless person. For some reason, I have all the money, so bankrolled everything.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah, with your money. Yep.
Yeah, I am a self-made Inquisitor, I will say. I don't know what anyone is referencing. They make it very specifically clear when you're using that edge that if you in any capacity try and use it, transfer the money back to yourself, you get in trouble. So
Right.
I have to thank the Bahari for willingly putting their hand up and helping us around that little scenario. Well, the main part, which everyone obviously saw, is that we got to meet the Camarilla for the first time, or at least partially. We all got along very, very well, and at no point did the three of us have different opinions on how it should have been handled and what the conversation was about and really what goals as characters we have. We got to see True Faith really get used for the first time, which I think the TikTok you made, Rena, really adequately shows, especially for everyone that wasn't Talon, like, oh no, Maxi's about to beat Final Death. Didn't, which was great. But yeah, it was I think this, as I can't talk about future episodes, but really this episode and how we've gone after this episode, this is really, I think, where the episode after this, where as a group we figured out, all right, this is the tone we're going to set with our group, and kicked everything off. So it was very cathartic, I think, for all of us to kind of embrace the chaotic nature of our characters a little bit more, which I greatly enjoyed.
I had to remind them, like, they are on one side.
We're all on the same side.
Also, imagine this is happening and Seven is just there and they're all yelling at each other. So I feel like Seven is the child with like the divorced parents, like about to divorce or something, and she's just like eating really, really cold egg sandwich
That's an old egg sandwich.
that rolled under the seat.
But yeah, we also saw the safe house as well, which is a prime example of what happens when Trist keeps staying in the van. As we said, the character with the combat prowess. But I feel like in character it makes a lot of sense. I think Trist would just sit inside with Chips, watching on computer screens UA and Talon kind of get bounced around and be like, like it'd be that Always Sunny gif of just the guy sitting in the car looking back, just being like, you idiots.
We haven't seen any proof. We haven't seen any proof of your combat prowess. Like, you got beaten down.
This is just, it's like, just look at my sheet with all 1 dots and be like, haha, they're believing it. 4 dots in manipulation.
I did not expect you to just stay back during the safe house. Especially Seven is there.
That's what I was instructed to do. I followed my instructions. Whether that
Since
has...
when?
I
Since
was
when
told-
have you followed instructions?
told
I'm
to
quite
stay in the
impressed you
van.
are being such a good boy.
Yeah, I stayed in the van. I was told to stay in the van.
You know, I think you could have saved 2 NPCs if you didn't stay in the van.
Nah, that's not on me. That take
Sounds
take
fake.
that
So
up with
there
my
was
boss.
like 3, actually 3, because the third one was just like dead.
No,
because of
take that up
9.
with the boss. Well, as we have established moving forward, as I can say that Trist has elected to no longer stay in the van very much, but that is for future episodes.
Mhm. It's like
Proud of you.
Sorry.
you know how everybody else in this group has established, do not let 7, 8, or 9 meet.
I disagree with that premise so strongly.
They all second negotiation just decided, you know what?
In character, out of character, I'm aware of what a terrible idea it is. In character, Trist just Trist is out of the 3 people in that group, the last one that should be responsible for a teenager.
Trist encapsulates fuck around and find out.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
it's usually he fucks around, but he himself doesn't find out.
No, other people do.
Yeah.
Nailed it. That's the
Oh,
best
man.
kind of fuck around and find out. You don't get to face
Exactly.
any of the finding out.
7 and 9 met during that episode, which
If 8 was around, I'd have done it too. But yeah, I very strongly, when that occurred, was like, oh, okay, the doomsday clock has just moved forward a little bit, which was a bit of a concern. But yeah, it was especially, I think, the part of the episode that I most really enjoyed was when we first received Maxie's letter. The idea of we're demanding a poem and a black rose was made entirely in jest, and then finding out in the game why, like when Maxie has the rose, the difference in interaction. I was like, oh wow, this worked out perfectly, like too well.
Yeah,
So-
the Second Inquisition didn't know that Maxie's part of their Bane thing is that the moment they hold a rose, they cannot lie.
Oh.
So-
I love
So that
that. I
was-
love that just worked out.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
who suggested it?
Joel was just jesting, like, "Oh, let's get a black rose
No way.
under the moonlight."
when I was here reading the note, I was like, because the title, especially for Tristan character, was like from the fallen angel. It's like, oh, okay, all right, who is this douchebag? And so receiving a letter being like, you must meet me under the darkest night within the car park where we will divulge secrets of sweet death to each other. It's like, yeah, no, Garrett, we need eyeliner, we need My Chemical Romance in the background, we need black roses falling. Just like,
Just get everyone's, like high school angst,
Yeah,
like
exactly right.
dreams out.
if I
Get
had
some
hair, I'd have
evanescence
had a
going.
side fringe, but couldn't pull it off. So, and then yes, to find out that then their issue, like scenario with the rose, was just like, oh, okay, well, that works out well. Yeah, entirely no prior knowledge, just something that we thought was hilarious. That's then translated excellently in character.
Yeah, and I mean, they did such a good job as well. Incredible performance, just like obsessed with that rose, bringing it up all the time, letting it slip at the end, be like, oh, I can't tell the truth. Oh no, whoops. I mean, I can't lie. So it was perfect. Well done, Kai.
I think Kai joining us really, as a group, made us go, oh, we need to step up our game. We're getting this is premium tier performance right here.
But everybody breaking at the point when Mr. Talon says that's 4 points of aggravated damage.
Damn.
Evie was like, what?
Yeah, that wasn't chill.
But even
was-
before that, like Yue turning around because she's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like, oh,
Being that audience surrogate character there to be like,
Yeah.
you're having the reactions that we're all having back here.
exactly. It was just mwah.
Like
Delicious.
ironically, that's the human reaction.
Yeah.
Sort of to have.
It was a strong episode for this is uncomfortable, but we're pushing through.
I think also it helped show that human side of the SI, because up until now you've been kind of characters plonked in the middle of something, and yes, you get to see Talon's double plus not great bad side, but you also get to see Yue, who is normally quite stoic, is no, not all right.
Yeah, and like, and her concern over Delilah and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dee Dee. What a nickname.
It was a strong episode, I think, for showing not so much that the SI is breaking down, but more just, yeah, exactly as you said, the emotional side. Like the emotions are starting to come through a bit more.
Yeah, these are trained individuals, but they are still human, guys.
I'm not sure about Mr. Talon, but yeah.
No, he's a
Jury's
douchebag,
out
but
on that
anyway.
Yeah, Trist gave Mr. Talon a stern word in that episode. Stern talking to.
Joel, you were mentioning the sort of internal conflict within the Inquisition, and I can't help but notice that it seemed like there was actually two versions of that, and one was within the Inquisition, and one was the two Maxis in conflict with themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like there were three parties to this conversation, and like sometimes y'all were just sitting there and watching them have this back and forth, and you'd be like, wait a minute.
Well, that's sort of what I think we were trying to do in that Talon was approaching it from approaching Maxi as, well, the rosed Maxi as the kindred as a whole, of you represent this insidious threat. Whereas the way I was trying to approach it was talking to not so much Maxi themselves, but just a kindred as a symptom. And that to try and then sort of show the difference between Talon seeing them as a opportunity versus Trist seeing them as a payday.
Mm.
And yeah, Kai just pulled it off phenomenally.
What was it like? I mean, I could see all of, especially you and Talon kind of taking turns with how can you intimidate this person and trying different strategies. And like, it was that weird thing of how do you scare someone who isn't afraid of dying? And like at some point they're just like, yeah, okay, kill me then, if that's what you want. I'm not worried about it. Like, what was that like trying to play the quote unquote bad cop against that kind of attitude?
The odd part about none of it was planned, which I'd like to say that it was, but the plan really was genuinely Yue and Trist were going to sit back and let Talon interrogate. It wasn't until Seven then came to Trist and said, I've had a vision. And sort of what I've been building up, not so much towards, but like a lot of the actions Trist has done, which especially watching back this time, I'm like, oh, without context, this looks so silly. Such as an example, Mr. Davis. When Trist got punched out by Mr. Davis and then ran off and then was like, I'm adding months to his retirement, screw this guy. Whereas the reason I was doing it was that we knew so many people were working for Winters where Davis wasn't. So if Davis retired, Trist was like, we have no one on our side. And so similar sort of thing where Trist has sort of been building up to more and more breaking points. And then when Talon, and Pat has pulled it off so well of just like, I'm busy, what do you want? Yeah, at no point was that meant to be Trist intimidating, but then it broke to Trist just being like the same sort of thing, like, all right, where I'm getting nothing that I want, so I need to address the Camarilla as a whole sort of thing. And then Talon going, no, we're addressing the kindred, and just bouncing back and forth. And I was really good because it got to, I think, show the difference in priorities within the group. Not so much with Yue yet, which is really good because that's building up, but for Talon being committed to his goal sort of out of faith, whereas Trist being committed to his goal out of what I can't talk about yet, but it's essentially desperation for other reasons that are coming. So it was purely incidental, but it ended up working really well. And I think also, again, for Patters and Kai, the way that they both sort of juggled it, watching it, I was shocked at how great they were. Not shocked, they're both excellent anyway, but it was really enjoyable to watch both of them.
Yeah, it was. I feel like most of those episodes, I was just my resting bitch face.
You looked really uncomfortable as well. Like everyone was like, we were looking around the room afterwards, and everyone was a bit like, "Everyone okay?"
Because I was just, I'm trying to like, I'm trying to play the role of keeping everyone on the line and not accidentally trigger people when they're doing their bit. Because I know I told you guys no PvP on the table, but this is consent that agreed upon PvP, which everyone consented on, and so I'm trying to keep everyone in the line. So I'm just like, my brain is just trying to process everything that's happening. Like, are they going to go here or there? I don't want people breaking on the table.
I think you do really well, especially with which again, it's probably a case of not seeing behind the scenes, but watching the Bahari group in the Camarilla, you all seem so not like organized, but cohesive. Like as a group, everyone seems to move, which again is a case of I have no doubt of not being behind the scenes, because I think out of a filming day, we spend probably about a good 90% of it arguing about who's derailing it the most, because all three of us want to go somewhere different. And yet every time without fail, Rena's like, I don't care where you go, or like, it's going to be fine. And every time we've been like, we're going this way, Rena's like, the story is right there around the corner waiting for you. So there's been no sort of random street we've turned down, or random, like, we're pulling this maneuver out that Rena hasn't been able to be like, that's fine, like, prepped for that.
Yeah, I prepared a lot of things.
Yeah, Rena, you're amazing, and you know it. But honestly, Joe, like that's, again, I say this every time in the recaps, that's what I love about your group. And I think that the opposite of cohesion, I guess, is what makes it really fun to watch. I love it when like they're trying to have a cool moment and Trist will just ruin it, you know? I even wrote it down. There was a bit where you was like, I trust you know what this is. And then it sounds like I silently pocket it. And then you're like, did you get something special? And she's like, it's the same thing, Tristan. Just move on. I just love that shit. It makes me so happy. So please.
There's a lot of moments I've felt bad afterwards, and I've had to both two members of my team be like, hey, sorry if I interrupted, that they're like having a really serious moment, and then it ends up with me like, I ripped my earbud out. Just because it reminds me very much of, I don't know, this Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when there's an episode where Jake's out there and he's just like, ask about the bank accounts, just interrupting an interrogation. I feel like that's Trist all the time. Someone's like having this really deep moment and Trist is like, Seven's not eating enough nuggets, guys. Do you think she's going to kill us? And just, yeah. It's I'm glad everyone's enjoying it, because sometimes I get really concerned that I'm like, Trist has reached peak annoyance level.
I had to remind people too on the table that you have a child with you.
She's not a child. She's 14.
She's 14
That's
with like
a child.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
child.
child.
Definitely a child.
It's a child, but like not in the sense of that, like, you know, she's able to go. I can leave her in a room by herself and not worry that she's going to, like, I don't know, like drink the petrol that we've left in the tank.
The problem with that as well is I had to do research in regards to kids that have been or not mentally developed as their peers, because they've been in prison or have been had the evil of the world just pushed down upon them.
Yeah, I should say, when I say not a child, like I mean like teenager. Just we'll just put that out there for the recording. I'm aware that she's a very young and a very traumatized little girl who needs looking after. And for some reason, they've given her to Trist, who can't look after himself.
Trist and teenagers. The
Yeah,
saga continues.
Somehow like so fragile, but also so scarily powerful. It's quite a combo.
Yeah, it's I feel like anytime anything happens with Seven involved, it's like trying to walk around in a room when you've got a lion. It's just like, just be quiet, just hope it just sits there and looks after itself. It'll be fine. And then when it demands dino nuggies, you just like, get the nuggets before it kills everyone.
She almost died, and what you gave, like the comfort you gave her, was that here's a really cold and dirty egg sandwich that I found under the seat.
I said it before, I'll say it again. The Camarilla would have traded. Yeah, we'll give you 8.
No, we don't.
Happily take
Sitting
7.
in a van in Alice Springs. It can't be cold, folks.
That thing was
bioweaponry.
It was toasty.
Yeah. It was absolutely growing life.
The thing is, as well, I never prepared. Like, the first episode, Trist was very much just like, get rid of everyone. Like, Trist was like, yeah, I don't care about this kid. Get lost. Everyone can get lost. So he's just kind of been saddled with Seven. So it's really just being like, I don't know what to do the whole way. I don't know. I'm expecting in season 2, like, eventually Seven to pull out a computer and hack the Inquisition, and Trist to be like, yeah, that was a terrible idea teaching you all of that. But yeah, I don't know.
Thinking of that, I can't remember what it's from, because I only know it from TikTok. It's just like, we got to look after him. Oh, do you want a beer? He's 12. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, very, very much. Trist barely can take care of himself, so looking after someone else. But I think in character, he's done pretty well. I mean, Seven hasn't decided to kill everyone. As it,
I feel like we've established that Jen really likes taking in strays, so I feel like Jen and Trist need to meet.
There's a through line, yeah, of inexperienced parenting going on. Very interesting.
And honestly,
We
we
can
really need
trade
a computer
parenting
guy.
tips.
We really need a computer guy.
Come and catch up with Alice. She can give you some tips on how to ground a kid and then let them go.
I mean, I'll be honest. I can't see anyone at the group treating Trist worse than he's being treated now. So
It's accurate.
Because they haven't met the Bahari yet.
Yeah.
the
Cute.
default right now in the game is anytime it's like Trist, do this, or we'll kill your family and we'll kill you. It's like, all right, I did it. Good. Now shut up.
Oh,
Poor
Second
Baba.
Inquisition is just so. I honestly don't know in between the Camarilla and Second Inquisition which one is more chaotic than.
I
The other.
honestly, I love the fact that the Second Inquisition has the Scooby van, but
Yeah, we're-
I'm pretty sure
the
that the
Scooby.
Camarilla are more like the Scooby Gang. Like we're like cohesive, but it's like it's one of those Rube Goldberg machines of just like we set it up to do something, and then somebody pushed the wrong button, and it all kind of fell apart, but it kind of worked out in the end.
Yeah, we're the Scooby Gang. They're the Three Stooges.
Yeah, very much. I see us as Dexter's Laboratory, where it's just Talon and Trista's Dexter and Mandark being like, no, I have created the best solution, and Yue's just Dee Dee, just kind of dancing around in the background,
Yes.
Dee Dee.
living her best
Dee
life.
Dee again.
Well, yeah, Dexter and Mandark are like, no, I have the greatest ultra weapon that'll save it. No, I have the greatest ultra weapon. But because we filmed this so long ago for us, like this was
Yeah.
like this episode I think was like August or something for us or something like that. Like it
Oh.
was what would have been
It was
that
a
late?
while
So
ago.
it was a long time.
September.
September. There we go.
Mm.
And especially because in the meantime we filmed 2 other episodes, and as I said, this episode really kind of kicked off a new sort of tone for the Inquisition. So rewatching it now, it's kind of like, which is while I understand like it's not that long, but just after the 2 other episodes we've had watching, it's kind of like watching your high school video and be like, oh wow, we really were like that at one point.
Was I always that cringe?
Yeah, it will be interesting. I'm very curious to. I could just put this out as the general theme now. I'm very curious to see what the other members of the Inquisition have to say now that we've had the other 2 episodes, and especially we've had some more development. But yeah, it was I really enjoyed, for me personally, getting to see. Well, I've been trying to decide for a while at what point does Trist kind of go, because Trist has a reason why he has to listen to the Inquisition, but we've been on the run from the Inquisition for so long. So it was kind of this build up of at what point does Trist reach the line of, hang on, why am I actually still here doing this?
Mm.
And that moment with Talon was the moment of Trist kind of being like, well, I don't actually work for you anymore. So
Look at my real dad.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, whether it stayed that way within future episodes pretty damn fast, like it was a future thing. But yeah, it was this kind of build up of Trist eventually going, you know what, like I actually, like I'm the only one that could use guns. I'm quote unquote bankrolling this. No, with the helpful discretion of nobody involved at all, entirely
Yeah.
self-made.
Uh-huh.
Definitely not
All by myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a Von Lang account that
They're
spending
slowly
the dough on.
draining out.
Direct, honestly. I'm not noticing yet.
As I've seen how many zeros are in that bank account. You're doing fine. But yeah, so it's this kind of build up of Trist eventually going, well, actually, at least in his mind, going, I could probably bail. So that was that sort of build up moment there of Trist reaching breaking point of, why am I listening to all of you?
Yeah,
I just
it's
kind of love the headcanon I've got of the Second Inquisition getting intercepted by Oztac for all these massive account
Breaches.
transfers that are happening.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
God.
there's a lot of computer issues with the Inquisition.
Mhm.
There's a lot of issues in general, as when we, in future episodes, when we have some people come and perform audits, you'll see. But yeah, the money part has definitely kind of come to a halt. I think this is the last episode even Money Tap was used. I don't think it got used again moving forward because at the end of this episode is when Triss gained access to Drone Jockey, and that became its own issue.
Oh dear.
That sounds exciting.
Sounds dangerous.
That's what I meant.
But I think especially at the end, seeing True Faith really get used for what its purpose is, which is ruining supernaturals, it was really
That was
fun.
terrifying.
Well, it's supposed to be terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
the antagonist of Vampire the Masquerade in general is Bahari and the Second Inquisition.
I resent that.
And with, like, the Second Inquisition in every vampire game, they always make it so, like, the vampires, the kindred, can feel them coming. There's this, like, eerie feeling that there's something haunting you. But we don't actually get to see, because it's always just an NPC doing this thing. We don't actually get to see an actual person playing it, use it, how it's supposed to be used.
That's sort of which in discussion with Rena, as Rena will be able to confirm, when we started, the goal that we had was to we didn't go out designing to be the sort of comedic joking group, but the goal we had was to be kind of like to show that, you know, like, as anyone who's worked in government will know, it is not organized. There is nothing but ego and issues. However, that if you, on the rare occasion that it actually does eventually get focused against what it's supposed to, it's just this giant force.
It's on
And
like
that's what we're
Donkey
hoping
Kong,
for.
yeah.
Yeah, so that when it actually came to the point of, oh, you know what, now we're actually in a position with Kindred to start hunting, that while from our point of view, you know, you see the ridiculousness, you see the chicken nuggets, the who's got what food, who's got what ammo, from ideally like the other group's point of view who haven't actually engaged with the group in person, it's like, oh god, there's this group out there that's doing these things, which is part of why I really enjoy, especially watching the Bahari episodes, when the Bahari reference the Inquisition, and then you've got Winters, who is very acutely aware of the group. It's just like, yes, there's a group of morons. But like, while it's not being done very well, I mean, hopefully we're applying pressure where, I wouldn't say where it needs to, because we don't focus this at all, but we're trying to apply pressure in general to the Kindred. Hopefully it's being felt.
The fact that the Camarilla even know that the Inquisition are, like, I mean, like, at least this is from like Jen's point of view, the fact of even knowing that the Inquisition are in Alice Springs is enough pressure. Like, it's this haunting thought at the back of your mind going like, one day you're going to step outside and you're going to die. Because they're out there, they're waiting, and they're waiting for you to mess up enough that they have an excuse to hunt you properly.
Or you just don't wake up at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jen is like acutely aware of the Inquisition. Like, even if they don't bring it up very much, it's that like, I know that if I'm out and about, like, because Jen's first experience in Alice Springs was going to the casino and Delilah getting shot at and having to spear tackle an Inquisition member and run for it. Like, that was Jen's first experience. So they're acutely aware of the Inquisition and they're vaguely terrified of them. It's just that niggling feeling in the back of their mind.
Although it's
I guess
more
especially
likely...
having
sorry. No, go ahead.
Especially having come from Sydney, where for all intents and purposes, things, I mean, they're there, but we didn't really get to see how much of an influence they might have in Sydney. So one might assume that, you know, that shit is pretty well locked down. Saracene's probably got a couple of snoops in with the spooks.
Sydney is vampire territory. Like, that's a stronghold. Like, there's probably Inquisition members there, but it's still a vampire stronghold.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like, Jen knows Sydney really, really well. They've lived there their whole life. They are in a new city that has that's no one's stronghold. It's no one's home. Well, as far as Jen is aware, it's nobody's home.
Other people are aware.
No,
as far as Jen is aware, it's nobody's home.
You guys learned on the boat in episode 1 that Alice lives there.
Alice was from there. That's what Jen picked up from
Alice. Alice is independent, you know.
Yeah, Alice is independent. It's not like a supernatural stronghold, and you know. So yeah, for Jen, it's just like, this is a lawless place. This is the furthest they've ever been from home, or home, I think little quotation marks there. And yeah, this is completely uncharted territory for Jen. So this is like, very, very different for them.
Hopefully, at least from the especially seeing which the Camarilla group really nailed. As I said, from the Inquisition point of view, the idea of meeting Maxie was this comedic, like, oh, here we go, like, we're going to go meet a blank body in a car park, hilarious. Whereas from the Camarilla point of view, it's like, oh no, like, Maxie's gone. And you hear, like, the Inquisition were involved. And similar watching the Bahari episode when you were discussing, like, oh, like, you know, the Camarilla and the Second Inquisition have engaged in discussion. Where it's like, this could mean big things. But, like, you watch the Inquisition episode, and it's just... like people yelling at each other and and Maxie watching being like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like nobody got anything out of that.
I mean, I got something out of it.
I definitely got something out of it. Again, future things.
I mean, at one point when Maxie was just like, feel free to ash Delilah. And, you know, when Nine told us that later, I seriously was like, she's lying. There's no way he actually said that. And they did. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Maxie, what the fuck?
I especially... Sorry, go ahead.
I felt that betrayal that I felt when, like, everybody left the table and it was just me by myself. I felt that all over again when Maxie was like, fuck other vampires. I was just like, oh, excuse me?
Ash Delilah,
Hello?
ash them all, I don't care. Pretty sure that was the line.
Yeah.
Break my heart all over again.
I did not... I even rewatching it, I don't quite remember how we somehow got on the train of we're going to trade one Delilah for a Tremere, and just somehow we got on the Tremere train of, yep, we're going to go fetch the Tremere. And to be honest, being only aware of one Tremere involved in this game, I don't really know how that's going to get pulled off, but I'm curious to see how that works.
It's wild to hear you wanting to go after the Tremere of all people. You know, that's just what a strange coincidence that is. Giving you a long-standing love and affection for that.
You all people.
Well, especially the way I think, because Triss, Rena discussed with me earlier, well, not the full extent of lore knowledge, but Rena was like, Triss has some more in-depth lore knowledge than the other two members, not in terms of the Quajian with UA, but just by being involved, because Triss especially had an involvement regarding Shreknet. So to Triss, at least, the Tremere represent, and while, you know, I'm sure Dasher would not like this sort of correlation, the Tremere represent to Triss the ones who are most like him, in the sense of it's about acquiring knowledge and learning and gaining power. It's not about stern glances and deep, like, I'm gonna kill you, and, you know, like, shows of brute force. I mean, once Triss meets Dasher, he'll probably very, very rapidly reassess his opinion of what the Tremere are.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, darling. Please, don't simple like
See Triss walking around in red robes, being like, "Abracadoodle, I am a Tremere."
Oh god.
That's exactly what she sounds like. A perfect impersonation.
Yeah, I think
Jen would approve.
I'm going to infiltrate the Bahari. Like, I am your average Tremere. Your clothes are red.
Greetings, fellow warlocks.
Exactly
What
right.
do you do, fellow children?
I can't use that phrase because that's literally the only answer I had when Rita was like, you're approached by a group of teenagers. What up, fellow youths? Like, I don't know how to do this. But yeah, so that's why the Tremere were, like, I think if Trist had more knowledge regarding the Bahari, Alice would be the most likely one to enter discussion with, but we especially in terms of the Bahari have absolutely no idea.
A lot of Vampire the Masquerade. Actually, a lot of Camarilla anarchs don't know much about Bahari. It's being scrubbed away from the records for some reason. And
the only sect that really had anything to do with the Bahari would be the Sabbat, and that's just mostly to hunt them down and kill them.
Yeah.
Like, they are the heretics of the heretics.
Come join the party. It's cool over here.
As I've said this from episode 1 immediately. As soon as Winters was like, "You're not getting paid. We hate you. We're gonna kill you." Like, I'm defecting immediately. Just no one has given me defection yet. If Nine had offered me a seat in that van, Triss would be on his way. Like, I'll Dark Mother, whoever you want me to worship, I don't care. Just get me away from these people.
Even if it means joining Winters, though.
Yeah, I would kill Winters first.
Okay.
I would definitely kill Winters, but yes, there's.
I think that's really interesting that if given the opportunity, Triss would have just bailed on the Inquisition straight away, whereas Jen was actually handed the opportunity on a fucking silver platter and went, "No, I'm going to go find my friends."
Yeah.
That was that classic devil deal from Rena being like, I will give you everything you want. It's just going to cost you everything you have.
It felt like such a monkey. Like, even just hearing it, like, in my, I was trying to think through. I was literally thinking through it. I was like, what's the downside, like, other than the potential for Saracine to come after everyone Jen loves? What's the downside? At the same time, like, even if that's the downside, this feels like a monkey paw deal. Like, you know, it's a genie wish. You know, I wished for the thing, but it didn't come out that way.
A lot of what I've, especially with Trista's originally, which not everyone may know, but because Trist is the 19th character that was written up for this game that I was going to play. When I was going to play another character, Hound and Jen were going to be almost like two sides of the same coin, in that Hound was captured in Jen's place. But what I've tried to do is sort of, to a degree, keep that alive, in a sense that watching the Cameron episodes, that Jen, I think, represents to, like, if Trist ever met Jen, it'll be the exact same thing of what could possibly be the case if Trist was treated like by fellows well. Because while Jen isn't loved entirely, but like Jen is treated well overall, whereas Trist is not. So that's, I think, especially if Jen and Trist ever run across each other, that is that example that if Trist is fiercely loyal, which is why, despite in character groaning, he's still trying to do his best to make sure Seven's safe, whereas he's just being treated terribly. So that's why defection. So I'm just saying. To be honest, this is basically the story where it's at now, based on there's been 2 episodes since. So whether the Bahari or the Camarilla would be willing to take him in after the next 2 episodes, very different story. But that's where that sort of comes from, in the sense that Trist is not traumatized or anything like that, but it is another example of Trist is being kept prisoner as well. Yeah.
Jen is very much the gilded cage. Jen lives comfortably and stuff like that, but up until other than being roommates with Charlie, Jen has no friends up until this coterie, which is why Jen has latched onto them so strongly. No, this is my opportunity. This is what I have. Make a family. Yeah, this is what I have. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to make these people love me. God damn it!
And I think that's coming across well as well, because you get the sort of the fiercely loyal moments from Jen, but you can sort of feel the desperation in some of the moments, which is perfect. I mean, I'm going to be really disappointed when I take all your friends from you, but that's an in-character thing. I'm sorry.
I can't wait.
But yeah, with that whole thing, awkward laughing from the storyteller. With that whole thing, is there any last questions for the Second Inquisition before we move on to the Bahari?
The after credits, come on.
Can we ignore that?
The most beautiful poem.
Bet.
Who wrote it, Rena?
Huh?
Who wrote it?
I did.
You wrote it.
I did, but Lou had to double check with some of his Gen Z friends to ensure that there's not much, it's pure Gen Z, because I asked my sisters to help me write it, and my sisters are Filipino Gen Zs, which is different from American Gen Zs and Australian Gen Zs, and I'm like, we gotta ask proper Gen Zs.
I like that you've got cultural experts in. I like it.
Yeah. Generational experts.
Want to make sure you're not capping.
Oh. And then Lou asked me, he bugged me 3 times, hey, listen to the thing and tell me if it's good enough. And I'm like, I kind of don't want to listen to it.
Having the future knowledge of what happens and then hearing that, you're just like, oh, it's so annoying, but it's so relevant, but it's so annoying. So painful to listen to.
The outros are totally not going to be relevant.
Yeah, of course.
What are you talking about?
That is a lie. You are lying with your lying mouth.
But yeah, let's move on to the Bahari. Ladies.
All right. Sure. I mean, okay. So it was kind of interrogation part 2, essentially. We all woke up. There was some crunching on chips, and 9 had returned. So that was fun. So she mentioned that she knew Maxie from way before. Apparently they met while swimming, which I'm very curious about. Like, does that track with your timeline, Alice, I guess, and when you knew 9? But that's, I guess, a question I don't know if you want to answer now or later. But it was it years ago, or they just said way before? A year ago.
A year ago they met, yeah. Alice has a kind of hands-off approach to parenting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed.
Yes, very true.
So who freaking knows?
Fair enough. Yeah. And yes, what else? Obviously doing lots of deals. Mentioned that she set up this deal with Maxie and the SI. And that Maxie only wants to make themselves safe and doesn't actually care about Delilah and just wants control, and that we were like, inside check, oh, we failed, we believe you, I guess, and then it was true.
Double bluff.
Yeah, incredible stuff. A little mention of Joel's favorite word, hentex, there with the Camarilla. Yes. That was great.
And Maxie may be working with them as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes. And that also a lot of small businesses are being bought, snapped up around Sydney Harbour and also in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. Yes, we got 9's list of contacts, which was very interesting. It includes Maxie and one Florence, who we learned the significance of from the Cam episode. Yeah. The moderators on that list, someone called Haley as well, and of course the doctor, and that's where all of the things started to fall in place. We discussed, I believe that there was that episode that we discussed that the doctor seemed to have delivered both our envelope and the Cam's envelope, and that the doctor knows all the things. That was a nice, lots of bombshells there. What else? Of course, that 9's going to a party. Oh, yes, we set up some things for the next episode as well, that we were going to buy a New Haven, hopefully. We had a small, cheap and cheerful one, and then also a very expensive salt mine that we would need to go and investigate. So that was set up, and then also following the trail of the tree, that I, as Tremere Regent, tried to pull on some of my contacts there and had a meeting lined up, at least some information coming through from one neonate, Chloe Jameson, which ended up being we need to meet in person. And then bombshell at the end with the prince is coming. Yeah, a little tete-a-tete there. I was just like, nope. The prince was like, I love it when you play hard to get. So, yeah, that's a nice setup for the next episode. Oh, Delilah also was waiting for her wonderful sire, Lorna, to ask where her haven was, and then revealed, I believe, screwed up and said it was at the airport.
Yeah, so. It's like it's the same thing with when Lorna was doing the bit with a lot of questions, and I, as a storyteller playing 9, just slipped up, and I'm just like, fuck.
Oh yeah, what did you say? What was your
Oh no, it's like I think Lorna was trying to ask questions, and then I managed to slip up and said like, oh yeah, like the night before, and then
oh yes,
he was like,
that's right, yes.
So 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's right. And we were like, go to the party, but come back tomorrow, not like last time. And then yes, you revealed that you did know that you were out for 2 nights causing shenanigans. Yeah, that was very good.
I wonder what shenanigans 9 has been up to. Looks at the second session episode.
And you of course revealed that 9 probably doesn't need to sleep, which is why kind of loses track of time. We went and had a little snack as well. And I believe Alice also tried to call her Jasmine double, and there was no answer there. I'm sorry, the sirens. Oh dear. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Like, sirens in the background. Yes.
Slowly putting pressure on this group.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very efficient, which is making it quite hard for me to keep the episodes longer. But at the same time, it means that I get to put a lot of things that they can put together slowly but surely as they go along.
That red string board, man, it's just growing.
You picked the right group for sure. Also we learned that Winters was going to get arbitered. Whatever that was, and that would be happening soon. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, and then also, if we were going to have any chance of warding our New Haven, we would need some magical influence that wasn't 7, 8, or 9. So started discussing options there as well.
We also learned that the doctor told the camcoterie to go check out the roadhouse.
That too, yes, of course, that was part of it.
I wonder why that features in my notes.
And I can't remember if it was the last episode or number 4, but Delilah asked about the business card to the Gentleman's Club, and Winters explained that was a trafficking recruitment tool. Yes. And so I think Delilah probably left to go back thinking that she didn't have many friends, especially Maxie, and agreed to report to us about the salt mine as well. So that's exciting.
Delilah was essentially gaslit to oblivion and beyond.
Oh.
No, we welcomed our new sister with open arms. We would
Must
never.
have been in a different session. I don't know what you're talking
I don't remember
about.
that.
Are you tired or something?
I was so worried about this episode, but you guys did amazing.
Why were you worried? Yeah.
Oh no, because I had to remind Izzy as to where they found, like, the Camarilla found the envelope.
Yes.
And then Izzy was like, storyteller, can you remind me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the hat with the thing. And then she went like, the doctor! I was like, oh yeah!
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. I'm the doctor, yeah. So we covered all of that. So that's interesting. We should do something about that at some point.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah. Oh, and I really loved that it seemed like both of these episodes, in the Cam and the Bahari, that the same thing was said to Delilah. So Lorna and Jed basically said, you can be whoever you want now, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't mention why that was. Who had her memories. Yes, but that was revealed in our first episode that I have her memories, so
Yeah.
she just didn't ask. Actually, no, she did try and ask, and Lorna kind of spoke over me with some smoothed out facts.
Glossing over.
Yeah.
Wait, was
very
it
cool.
Charlie or Jen who said that? Like, you can be
Oh,
whatever.
maybe it was Charlie. Sorry, I might have written it wrong.
No, that sounds more like a Jen
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was Jen who said it.
Because Charlie was like, whoever did this to you needs to die.
Yeah. Yep.
Essentially calling Lorna a deadbeat parent.
I'm like,
That's right.
you can tell me not to, but this is what I would do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Carol has it in for Lorna because they're like, how dare somebody do this to a baby?
Yeah. More parenting judgments. Yeah.
Because we're definitely not the pot calling the kettle black.
No.
No.
there's a group that knows how to be paternalistic. It's the Camarilla.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm going to reserve my judgment on that.
The Bahari.
What is it Mother always said? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Well, look at me being silent.
your silence speaks volumes.
I hope the word paternalistic didn't sound like a compliment coming from me.
It definitely got the intent.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But that was really interesting, actually, that this 3 and 4 were kind of tied in that it was a lot of parental chats, essentially. At least for the Bahari.
It's quite, because for me, I made it so that the pin drop is what I keep calling it. The pin drop is like 2 times. So there's like a small drop, usually episode 4, but I didn't manage to do that with the Bahari episode because the parenting kind of ran a bit long.
Oh, sorry.
And I had to line up like
Just
everything.
too loving.
But it means that 5, 6, 7. It can happen episode 5 then. And then because episode usually I do it like pin drop episode 4, a little pin drop, and then we got like episode 5 and 6 to kind of like prepare for the big thing. Episode 7 being like the big thing, and we got finale. But the Bahari is kind of like, oh yeah, episode 4 is just chill. Episode 5 pin drop, really short preparation time. Episode 7.
Yeah, cool. Lucky we're so efficient.
7.
This is
Yeah,
fine.
7.
7.
Mhm.
And then 8. The
Mhm.
finale. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, there's no meaning to the numbers, guys. So
Total
No, it's fine.
coincidence.
It's fine.
Stop bringing it up.
fine.
Stop
Also-
talking about it.
Like I said, don't let Joel see the episodes until they finish recording.
This seems like a
In
personal
Feb.
attack, and I will not stand for it. This is
I
what's going
came
to
out to have a good time,
right?
and honestly, I'm feeling so attacked right now.
Because it's like, like the genuine reaction has to be there.
Watch Trist cry.
I would love that.
That's what happens for me when I watch the Bahari episode. I feel like when I lived the Inquisition episode, I watched the Camarilla episode and I'm like, oh wow, that's how we should have been acting. And then I watch the Bahari episode and go, oh, that provides a lot of context why everything hurts.
Yeah.
And the cycle just kind of continues on. There was a lot of things in this episode specifically that for an Inquisition player, it's just like, oh. And based on the reactions, there was parts that obviously the Bahari aren't aware of, so I'm not going to discuss them yet. But yeah, there was things that happened. It's just like, oh no, wait, what? Oh no, oh no. It's a lot of oh no's this episode. It was really fun to watch, especially the mentioning of Pentex.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to the end of it and do like a debrief amongst all of us. Like, when did you pick up on this, and when did you guys see this thread happening?
The finale recap is, I forgot that I should have named this recap episodes as the last stop episodes, but I didn't name the
That's
finale as the
very
last
accurate.
stop.
That one should be the only one. It's the last stop.
And you know what Alice's Roadhouse's name?
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
The last
stop.
Alice has left the chat.
Find some yams. I haven't actually been, which like I know the Inquisition know this, and I think Rita does as well. Like, when the episodes come out, like my partner watches them and my family watch them because they're all watching. I don't actually I put them on to make sure that I'm supporting with views, but I don't actually listen to them with any sound because I don't want to know what's happened. So this is the only episode for each of the Bahari. I've watched I think 2 episodes of the Bahari and 2 of the 3 maybe of the Camarilla. So there's episodes of each group that I still haven't seen yet. So watching it being like, how did we get here is really interesting. And exactly like when the season ends, I'm going to go back and watch them all to put it all together. But yeah, even just with this one episode watching, which like out of sync, trying to piece together how everyone arrived where they went to. But yeah, watching the Bahari, it's just like, like you really pull off the we're supervillains in control vibe.
Well, look, we were raised as we were raised as NPCs, right? We were born of being the spooky guests, and then got our own segment. So.
Really adopted the NPC, but said you were born by it.
Look, some of us were given directions when we filmed episode 1 to just go in and fuck up as many characters as possible. We haven't been given directions since, so we're continuing on the same instructions.
Yes, Rena is nodding right now.
It is a very accurate. Oh, don't worry. You know how all supervillains always have their backstory and how they became like this. Well, we're gonna have that. We're gonna tackle that. So don't you guys worry. Everyone's gonna suffer.
So you see the smile Rena has, but let's just, for everyone, not because
I'm really sorry that I put you all through trauma.
Let's just go back to when Rena was. I truly feel really bad, like Rena giggling and smiling.
The reason she gets away with it is she's tiny and cute, and people go, "Oh, she couldn't possibly be evil. She is all of the evil in this story. All of it, all at once."
Don't say that, because there's a small, cute, sweet, innocent little girl in our group.
Played by Rena.
Played by Rena.
Shockingly.
And she keeps sitting eating chicken nuggets in our van, so I'm really concerned.
Do you know the dog theory of anger and evil? That all dogs have the same amount of rage. But that littler dogs,
some of them are just bigger.
It's just denser packed with rage. Yeah.
As an owner of a French bulldog,
that's why Chihuahuas shake. 50% tremble, 50% rage.
Yeah.
I think this episode was also really interesting to see because despite, knowing absolutely the opposite, the Bahari seemed almost like, the comforting, nice group.
Oh,
We are,
They
Trist.
did. It was concerningly
Yeah.
nice.
yes. We all get along
Stepford
so
wives
well.
are nice too.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that you guys have gone through so much pain. Truly, I am.
We mustn't tell lies.
That's all I do, honey. That's all I do.
But like, it really was this like
Well, I know
nice,
that now.
warm and welcoming atmosphere, especially for Delilah. Like, come in, we will tell you everything and help you out.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's like,
It's disgusting.
because I've been doing the same as Joel. Like, I haven't been watching any of the episodes with sound on because I'm just like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It's fun to not know. So this is the first time I've actually watched an Inquisition episode and the Bahari episode. And this is why one of the reasons I haven't been doing the recaps. And watching the Bahari episode and just 100% buying, oh yeah, no, I can absolutely see why Delilah is like, yeah, I'll totally join the Bahari. That sounds great. You guys are so nice. And I'm like,
that was
I know.
amazing. Like, I think
Yeah, like,
anyone
I-
would have.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% bought it. I was like, oh, like, and I know like the character of Dasha and Alice, and I'm like, oh, I know these people aren't as nice as they're making out to be.
Oh,
but
hats off
at the
to
same
Tara,
time, like,
though.
they're
I'm
so
hurt,
nice.
Jen. I'm
Yeah,
really hurt.
Tara really took that one over the line though. Like absolutely was just
Oh,
like
Very,
pouring
yeah, it was
milk out of her mouth. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
so bad.
such good energy, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's really impressive considering that in
Who you
the
are.
Camarilla's perspective, they hate Tara because they're like, who would do this to the sweet baby? Like,
That's what I think the best part was. That if I think any other character, any character actually, with the possible exception of Talon, if they were in Delilah's position, would have reacted exactly the same way as well as, oh, like maybe this is actually a good idea.
Though, to be honest, having seen the Inquisition episode, I would love for the Bahari to get their hands on Talon.
That would
Mm.
be
Oh.
I mean,
that's
I don't want to.
terrifying.
Juicy.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but there's members of the Inquisition I think that would also love for you to get your hands on Talon. And I'm not naming anyone. I personally, it's definitely you, eh? But
Yeah. Well, once you join us, of course, we can deliver him as a prize. So
Lilith
We'll come together.
welcomes all.
but that also would be like terrifying as well, like because you've got Talon with this absolute
Mm.
faith in the Inquisition turning up. If like the second Talon ever busts out a Ahihai Lilitu is the second we're going to find out just how many combat stats Trist has.
Ah!
Oh.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's probably too
Note
late
to
by then.
self.
Mm. Well, obviously we're recruiting both of you. It's just
Yeah.
Like, you guys have
Never
no
ritual.
idea, like, before recording this whole, because this is the back-to-back 3 and 4 for the Bahari, they have this long-ass list of what they would do or what they would ask Delilah.
We literally get together and write bullet points of what do we need to achieve, what do we want to ask, who do we need to talk to, where do we need to go, and we just run down the list.
How do we traumatize and get this person the most? The list.
Oh, that's
Look,
my
everyone's
list.
got to have a plan, dude.
Yeah. I no argument. I respect it.
That's my list.
They know what they want. They know what they need.
But also that helps us keep on track because we are playing elders. We are supposed to have our shit together.
Yeah.
That helps us stay on track and weed out those, for our characters, distractions.
Oh yeah. You best believe we only have time for an executive summary on anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things watching the Bahari though, because you do all pull, like each time I've seen an episode or even just spoken to any of you about it, seeing that the energy that you pull off of, we know exactly what we're doing every time. But even in the moments of, we don't really know where we're going with this, but it's never a case of, oh, I have no idea, I'll just wing it. It's like always a case of, this is an unprecedented event, but I'll account for it in my plans. And
Exactly.
across all 4 of you, even Winters to his
Even Winters.
even Winters,
Oh.
that it's always real. I think it's like a testament to how good the 4 of you are as players because you all pull it off so well.
Oh, that's very sweet.
100%.
Thank you.
It's going to be again very sad when I kill you all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Whatever
Unbelievable.
helps you sleep at night. buddy.
Yeah.
For
I think
tons of manipulation.
It's very cute that we're like teaching Winters to stop coming with problems and come with solutions.
Yes.
He's learning slowly. It's very nice.
Oh god, I played with Matt And I told Matt, like, look at your stats, look at what you're doing.
Look who you're
Because
dealing
every
with.
time, like, I try to give Winters like his own like spotlight, he's just like, I'm gonna pick my worst stats for it to roll. I'm like, how many dots do you have? Matt, you have dots on this one. Do this.
Oh
At
yes,
least
that
he's
could
picking them
happen.
though.
Yeah.
No, but it's very human.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's just, not to toot my own horn, but playing as an older kindred or older vampire, because we're not kindred, we will only work to our strengths. And if someone else in the group has a strength that we don't have, we'll defer to them because that's not our forte. Whereas Winters is like, I'm just a human? ? I'm suspicious about that boy.
I mean,
But,
you've got some good
I'm just a
interrogation
human. I'm
tools.
coming with a human's
Allegedly.
experience.
Yeah, and some good equipment. He always brings the Batman gear, so that's
He always brings the treats.
Yeah, the doggos, of course. Let's not
My
forget.
doggos!
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't believe that the Bahari group got dogs before the Camarilla.
Sucks to be the Camarilla.
They got a
We
cat.
can't even take care of our fledgling.
Yes.
You guys got the cat instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
How-
you've got a cat. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just turn into cats.
The Camarilla got a fledgling.
Yeah, no, Jen
The-
is the cat.
The Inquisition got a child, and the Bahari get dogs. Like
Hooray!
they're the loved part. Like Kane gives them the gifts for Christmas. Everyone else just gets shit on.
You shut up with your cane nonsense.
Hey.
Excuse
That's
me,
how you get
Kane.
gifts. You got to neg him over and over again.
You wouldn't even give a good gift compared to Lilith. It's like, that's it. Give them all the puppies.
Lilith gives all the puppies. That's why join the Bahari, everyone.
That's probably a really good segue to our after segment, the recording that. What are we calling that? Those excerpts that get played at the
I
end.
just call it an
Outro.
outro.
Outros? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Mel has some very good theories on this, and I want Mel to share with the group. No.
So, okay. Well, now you put me on the spotlight because I haven't confirmed or denied any of my theories. So they're just literally me standing in front of my red string board going, maybe it could be this, looking
That's
very,
fine.
psycho.
Charlie Day slamming his hands on the board.
Yeah. Reno is not going to say anything. We know this. Fine.
No, I'm just gonna watch her eyebrows because they're the expressive part of it.
Damn it.
So
You've been
Go
found out, Reno.
cover.
we hear a part of hang on, am I picking the right one? The recording of Delilah, yes?
So I think Delilah was after the cam, and then we had a call and response one in ours. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's the big one with the whole group,
Oh,
including Delilah. Funnily enough.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Delilah's voice, okay.
Yes. I've forgotten my theory on this one. Did I write it? Did I give it to you?
Again, I haven't read the book, the extremely cooked book of Lilith. But you mentioned that where it's from has some important theories about what happens when
Oh, is this the one that's from that ritual?
It's like the 13 children.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, coming back to me now. Yes. So this excerpt is from a Bahari ritual where they are basically replaying, giving a accurate reenactment of supposedly Lilith's children, the Dainu, being decimated. And the concept is, and this isn't in the recording, obviously, but that you get nominees who are voluntold or captured to be representatives of each of the 13 clans. And long story short, everyone dies except for the Bahari and whoever is playing the representative of the Nosferatu and the Toreador, because in the lore they were the only two clans who actually helped ease the suffering of the Dainu, and did not partake in the slaughter of Cain's children, killing Lilith's children.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to die.
That's the theory. Yeah, only the hot clans survive, obviously.
Only the hot clans survive. Yeah. That is my theory. That is my current working theory.
Strong concern.
Why?
There's also precedence in law that the Dainu are still around somewhere sleeping, and that there's things you need to do to keep them sleeping so they don't wake up. This is very old law, but anytime any theory comes up, they all start to add together and they all end up with everyone die every time.
I mean, have you met the Bahari?
Yeah.
Everyone
Have you
dies.
played a vampire game?
Yeah.
Yes, I do like the idea that perhaps that ritual isn't quite, a self-fulfilling prophecy, but is, appeasing the sleeping beasts, so to speak. I really like that idea.
You keep looking down, Rena. You don't show any facial expression.
Right.
Don't you react at all.
I'm
like
not
that theory.
reacting.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sophie did not like that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh wait, there's nothing about the Tremere in there? Oh shit. But I mean, if the Bahari is protected, maybe I'm fine. Yep. Rena not reacting at all.
The Tremere were not even a gleam in Kane's eye ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
Yeah.
It's much later in the game.
For Tremere.
Smush their way in there a lot later. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'll be fine in this future where everyone dies. I'll be totally fine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like 7 or 8 or 9.
It'll just be decimated in the center of Australia, and Lorna and I will just be sitting on the empty Todd River creek bank just going, well, that was kind of fun. Should we do it again?
Something I always keep in mind watching when we have these recaps and listening to them is that the people who are discussing them, they're multiple episodes ahead. We've all filmed multiple episodes since the episodes that we're discussing. So especially with the Bahari, I always wonder if they're just completely misleading with what they're saying just to drive everyone else down the deep end of craziness.
Well, fun fact, we're not that far ahead. Sorry.
No, we're not.
Bahari
Oh,
are
that's
further
true, that
behind
is
than the
true.
rest
If
of
We're
us.
always
anything,
behind.
they're
If
the furthest
anything,
behind.
Yes.
The Camarilla is actually no. The Second Inquisition and the Bahari are
Equal,
both
aren't we?
equal, 5 and 6. And actually, the Second Inquisition will be the farthest
one.
behind. That's why I keep telling everyone to please not tell Joel anything, especially the Bahari, because Joel will put 2 and 2 together, and I don't want Joel to have any kind of plan at all.
Oh, bold of you to assume I can plan even when I know what's happening. You'll know if someone's told me if the next time you see anyone hears me on the recap is just me crying. It was a really good episode and I loved it.
But yeah, the Camarilla already knows what's gonna happen because they have experienced episode 7.
Yep.
So I'm kind of excited for the Bahari to do their episodes.
I'm excited to see where you'll end up.
Yeah. There's going to be it's obviously I don't know if they said you guys were NPCs originally. I don't know if you know what's going to happen, but at least in character you very strongly give the appearance that you do know what's going to happen. So if out of character you don't know, props. And if in character you do know, it's going to be really interesting to see the master plan culminate.
Without giving too much away, I will say at one point we did know, and then we became characters that weren't NPCs.
So now, who knows? It's probably all different.
And
Yeah.
now
We
I had
may
to-
know, but we don't know that we know,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
what we know that we know may be different to what we know.
Sounds like there's a lot of known unknowns.
Yes.
And considering the fact that I had to completely make actually flesh out the behind the scenes of this thing.
Yeah.
I'm just no! But then
This
I...
backstory, it's a regular story now.
Yeah.
No!
Which makes me wonder who's replaced the Bahari as the backstory. Who's the secret fourth group?
Ooh.
Oh, actually, the Bahari already might know.
Yeah, we have some ideas.
I'm not commenting.
Thanks, I hate it.
I refuse to speculate.
It's okay. We'll all be fine. It'll be fine and dandy. The finale will be a happy ending.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
I just request that when this
Insight check.
intimate
Yeah,
piece
yes.
of knowledge that I'm not allowed to find out is just before you drop it, can you please check at the table that I'm not drinking when it happens? I'm not midway through having some water. I don't want to
That's
repeat
bit take before, right? At the Pentex thing, you literally spat your drink
Yeah,
out.
that was it. Yeah, I was like midway through just having a casual Gatorade, listening in my headphones. And then everyone's just like, "Wait, who are Pentex?"
Honestly, when I was watching the Bahari episode, the sound I made when Florence's name came up, I was like, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Didn't
names
it
that
work?
pop up. And people, it's like there was a name that most definitely came up in the Bahari episode that the Bahari did not react to, but as an Inquisition player, it's just like, what?
Oh, and you don't know this.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah. I guess we'll find out very soon.
I'm excited.
Hopefully.
I'm excited for it. That's all I can say. I'm excited for everything to happen because I can finally talk about all the things that's been in my brain for like a year.
Yeah.
I've just been having to deal with it for like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Being at episode 7, never mind. A whole year.
Who's filming next? Is the Bahari? That's the Bahari double episode. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
We're recording next. Yeah.
It is so long till the Inquisition films again. So
I mean,
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
will have like your holidays. So have fun with your
Yeah.
holidays. Real life has to happen at some point,
Yeah,
Dose
I
up
guess.
on some joy before, you know.
did anyone else get
Before
the
this-
sarcasm in Rena's voice with have fun on your holiday?
Sorry, I can't quite breathe for the pool of sarcasm I'm currently drowning in.
Oh, don't worry. I will provide everyone with some kind of trauma and emotional damage before their holidays began.
I
I'm
already
talking
have
to
it.
the Bahari.
You wait. We're not filming again until February. And the way you
Sheesh.
preface that is to go, oh, by the way, there's this one fact that the Bahari know that you specifically cannot let Joel know. No one can know. All right, everyone have fun. We'll see you again in 2 months. It's like getting a text from your partner as they leave the airport
We
going,
have
we need
to
to talk
talk."
when I come back.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to America for 2 months, but when I get back, I think we should talk.
Oh my god.
Getting a call from your doctor and then being like, hang on, we'll give you the results in 2 months. No. Now.
No, it's the call from your doctor saying we can't have this discussion over
Over
the
the
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
But I'm on holiday in Mexico for 2 months. I'll catch you when I'm back.
Yeah.
Or maybe I won't. We'll see.
We'll see how you go.
Yeah. Dad. They said, like, this is, I think I just said to Rena, I'm going to have a white beard. And she's like, oh, I'm going to make sure it happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving nothing to chance.
Bum, bum,
Oh
bum.
dear.
It's all part of the game.
Yeah. It's that performance when you come back is going to be real.
Yeah.
It's going to be some like metaverse where Rena's recording these and actually just recording us living real life this way. And that's the game everyone's watching.
Shit.
Yeah,
analyze
revealed to
it.
second channel. Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. I've already have everything planned, at least the foundation for season 2, because
Yeah,
working in the
nice.
airport is really, really helpful for my brain juice. Apparently, I don't know why.
Being around planes is how Rena plans this entire campaign.
That is a concern.
Yeah.
Based on how
Also
some of the things
explains a
happen.
few things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't you say that
How
you
many
wrote,
hot
like,
pilots
the
are
first
in this
season on
season?
planes? Too
That's
many.
Kai's fault.
No,
Stupid sexy guy.
yeah, I wrote this whole season 1 while I was going home to the Philippines and no, going from Australia to Singapore, Singapore to Philippines, back to Singapore, back to
Yeah,
Australia,
back and forth,
back and forth, and then we had like the in between before the actual session started, actual recording started, that I had to go for a week and then roll up fresh from the airplane.
It's been a wild
Yeah.
ride. I do have to say that. Like, when did this originally? Like, when did the plans for this lay down originally? Like, I think auditions were in like what end of 2020.
Yeah, it was like no, it was 2021.
It was 2021.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it would have to be 2021 because I was living in Frankston when we did them.
Yeah, 2021, and it was around September.
It was, yeah, it's been wild. Like, sometimes I watch those TV shows where they show how they make movies and all the actors are like all the drama and like the craziness and the full and stuff was before filming started. And I was like, surely not. Now, like, being here as a part of this, it's like, damn, so much happened.
Yeah, it's
I
like
blame the Bahari.
I've been a part of a TV series before, and yeah, the lead up to the actual like starting filming took most of a year, and then we filmed it all in 2 months.
Yeah.
And
then you've got how much lead time for post before potentially you have to go on the promotion tours. It's just
well, I think
we should have a promotion to Arena. Let's do it.
Yeah, post was really short from like my
just have Saracen tour. The Saracen tour.
Yeah.
Take him.
Yeah.
We need a photo of
In the
Saracen
banana
with the big
suit.
banana.
Yeah,
That's Saracen's haven, the big banana.
the big banana.
Absolutely.
It was only recently that someone pointed out to me that when, as like I mentioned ages ago, when I had my audition and Rena said to me, I have the perfect character for you to play, Saracen. And I was like, I can't see that, Rena, whatsoever. And then now I see photos of Saracen. I'm just like, God damn it, I can see it now.
Yeah, see, it's like,
Ah,
listen, Joel is like, I can't play the prince, but if you want me to play the prince, I can play the prince. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, you can play as one of the player characters. And then I'm like, I need to find somebody to play Saracen. And then Matt rocks up with Chris, and I'm just like, perfect!
Wait a minute,
One.
another bald-headed, bearded man, Saracen, I see it.
I'm sorry, that's all I can see whenever I see Saracen. I'm just like, it's a bald, bearded man.
Yeah, I see it. You made the right call. For me, I think just for the favorite parts of each episode, while Pentex was the crazy drop, I think just seeing all the Bahari just talk so nicely to Delilah was my favorite part of their episode. And I think seeing Jen so abject and sad was my favorite part of the Camarilla episode.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of all my favorites.
I think my favorite of the Cam episode was, sorry, it was Doodlebugs coming through the window of the plane.
Smashing through the window.
I'm glad that was good for you.
I'm like, hey, if you've got to make an entrance,
Yeah,
go for
Pull it off.
Yep.
Sometimes you're the windshield.
Was that actually surprising to you, Adam, or was that just like really good acting?
I was shocked. Yeah, I was like, I knew someone was gonna hit the fan, but everything in my head was like, okay, what do I need to do like to get ready to kill some Inquisition agents and keep Delilah safe? And I was like, the calculations I was doing was, can I disable this one guard and then blink to the priest? Because the priest is who I want. I want to neutralize that person so that the rest of them will stand down. And yeah, Doodlebug coming through was just like, oh, plans. That was nice of you to come up with that.
Just says-
Plans. It's Doodlebug time.
Yeah.
Came up with the name. Who named Doodlebug? We have to know.
That's Rena.
That was Rena? Okay.
Listen, I was in the plane. There was this stupid Discovery Channel thing happening. And they were like, there's this, like David Attenborough voice.
Yeah.
I'm so sleepy. And he's like, there's this bug that does like the spiral thing, creates a cone which makes it impossible for the ants to crawl out of. So the ants just slide straight into the jaws of the Doodlebug.
Oh,
It's like a
that's
sarlacc of the insect world. Like, they
Oh,
are
that's
terrifying.
cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect, honestly.
I was just like,
They're
It
also
sounds real
terrifying
dumb.
to look at as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I was laughing. I was like, Doodlebug, that's so stupid. And then I Googled a photo of one and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I don't want to find
horrific.
this.
Yeah.
You got to be able to wear a name like that, and they can
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
so silly. I was just laughing, but then I'm like, why
It's
is it
always the
named
silliest
Doodlebug?
named ones that are the most dangerous.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
But yeah, they're so tiny, but they're just really scary for ants if you're an ant.
And to the Doodlebug, everything is an ant.
Yeah.
You're an ant or an atom, yes.
Sigh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that has been the favorites. Unless anybody else wants to jump in for
Those are
anything
my
else.
favorites, at least.
I gotta.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a cop out saying it, but my favorite for the Inquisition was definitely the scarring of Maxie. That was just, it was so intense, and it was just like, after all the like shenaniganery of like the Inquisition fucking around, and like dealing with this small child, and then suddenly watching Mr. Talon just like go from like calm and collected and like kind of like cold to like downright villainous was like that as a kindred that put the fear of the Inquisition into me.
It's the start of the Talon villain era.
I thought we never left.
I was gonna say it's just round 110.
Oh,
of
sorry.
the Talon
It's the start
villain
of
era.
the Talon's Hot Girl Summer. I always mix those two up.
Talon's Hot Girl Summer.
But yeah, we will be ending this recap here, and I hope you guys join us again next week. Or no, not next week. Actually, next week for the Camarilla episode 5. So exciting. The episode 5s are coming up. Yeah, my name is Rina, and I have been the storyteller for this chronicle.
I am Adam, and I am playing Charlie, our Camarilla Banu Hakim.
I'm Hollow, and I am playing Arjun Edison, our Camarilla Gangrel.
I am Joel, and I am playing Trist, Ahi Hi Doodlebug.
I'm here for it. My name is Melissa, and I have been playing Alice Barr.
And I'm Sophie, and I've been playing Dasha Von Lang, the all-round Bahari bitch again.
You don't have to add the Bahari thing, just all-round bitch.
Oh yeah, all-round bitch. Sometimes
guys. Well,
I call her bank account.
No.
no. But yeah, this has been Outback by Night. See you again next recap. Bye.
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 You drives away.
Gotta go that way.
We do have so much room.
It's just like that way now.
Kind of like we need Jeffrey.
I forgot to bring Jeffrey. Could you?
That's why he's Jeffrey. He's such an integral part of our coterie, Charlie. How could you do this?
He's away on business.
He's away on business. He's a very.
He doesn't like to talk.
Okay, let's begin.
Okay.
People we all love and care about, even though.
I can't.
The doctor who has no battle stats.
She looks straight into the camera, straight at you, Joel. Tris.
Damn. This thing's real. This thing's so evil.
Sorry. Breaking the fourth
I know who you really are. I don't know who you are, made-up character in Red Santa by Night, but if I find you, I'm gonna kill you.
Sorry, hold on. Oh god.
5.
Ever since she got back.
Interesting. And it's gone off now that she's left? Or?
No, it's still on.
Interesting. And when you mean the light, you mean like artificial light? Yes.
It's my light. It's
Oh.
It was you!
I'm sorry! I'm actually the Lasombra!
Where's Mr. Winters heading now?
Oh, that's the light.
Turn the light back on.
Exactly where he's going.
Oh no, just 30 minutes
You're
more.
not the Lasombra here.
I'm sorry!